Morning, everybody. None of you will probably know me very well. As you can probably tell, I'm not from here at all. I'm from just outside of Glasgow, up in Scotland, and I'm a working community artist that works with 0 to 25-year-olds within my local community, and also a national youth arts advisor working on Scotland's national youth arts strategy, supported by government and Creative Scotland, which is our version of the Arts Council, and advising on the progression of that. So I'm going to start by going back a wee bit, and then hopefully we'll end up in 2042, but I don't know. So if I take it back 3 years ago, in 2014, if you'd have told me what I've just spent the past 3 years getting up to, I would have laughed you right out the door. I'd have probably told you I am not creative, I am not arty, I have no interest in the arts, and that world is not for me. And what's probably been quite sad is that realisation over the past 3 years that I am not the only person that feels that way, and that there is an army of disengaged people who believe that arts and creativity, simply just because of your social geographic background and the circumstances that you're living in, isn't for them, and that is fundamentally totally wrong. So Time to Shine is Scotland's national youth arts strategy. We are one of only 2 countries in the world currently with national government supported strategies. There is us and there is Denmark. I can't pronounce what your strategy is called, I'm afraid. My Danish is non-existent. But Time to Shine focuses on 3 key themes: increasing provision, increasing participation, and increasing talent progression and creative pathways. So over the past 2 years, Time to Shine has created 9 regional youth art hubs, which is brand new youth arts organisations that would not have previously existed before. We have increased participation in the tens of thousands. Our latest figures are just under 60,000 individual young people that we've been engaging with. We've created audiences in the hundreds of thousands. Over 173,000 people have come to see the stuff that we've put on. We are working on progression, and we will continue to work on progression. In Scotland, a lot of the infrastructure that is so abundant here was non-existent before Time to Shine, and it was independent art organisations solely focused on their work and their work alone. Time to Shine has brought together over 257 independent organisations through art organisations, creative industries, medical professionals, care sector, youth work. I myself am a trained youth worker. I'm not a trained artist. I don't even hold a qualification in art at all. I went to school and drawing buildings and fruit wasn't for me, so art wasn't for me. I couldn't do drama at my school. It wasn't an option. Music wasn't an option at my school, so I was totally turned off from art. But over the past 2 years, I have been challenging myself every single day, working on mass creative projects. Last week I was working on a community mosaic project, doing mosaicing for the first time, but also teaching 120 kids how to mosaic for the first time as well, which is an experience. Me and Liz met at our Uncon. So last year, Time to Shine was 2 years old, and we had a big, massive celebrationary event. A little bit like this, just a wee bit less political and more showcasey, if I'm totally honest. And Liz started talking to me and explaining about what ART31 was, who yous were, and what yous were doing, and instantly I was like, I want to be here. Let me see this. So I'm so happy that I am finally here in this stunning setting and finally seeing all the great stuff that's been done. But as Gavs, and as I said, I wasn't the only person that felt disengaged, and a lot of the work that Time to Shine does is solely focused on engaging those disengaged people, on engaging harder to engage young people, your young carers, your looked after and accommodated young people, people with additional support needs, disabilities, early years, under 3s, 18 to 25-year-olds, and really focusing on that. And like ART31, in the strategy, the government strategy, it puts young people at the centre of the decision-making process. So every hub that has been created and projects that run, if young people aren't in the decision-making process, you don't get any money. I am a fully supportive person of, if you're talking about young people and you want to support young people, come speak to us, no offence, but we're the experts, yous are the experts. We know more about our lives than people that sit in offices writing policy all day know about. speak to us. Again, you find out what your issues are, what your barriers are, and we have the solutions to 95% of these problems if someone just spoke to us. So I'm so glad that we're at this event and we're asking these really powerful questions. So in the future, I think youth-led projects that are truly for young people, truly by young people, and truly from young people should definitely be the norm. In 2042, I don't see why that. In my head, it just makes total common sense. Rather than the exception to the rule, which I know quite a lot of them are. Some people get really scared when you mention, oh, young people are in control, and you go, no, run away. So currently, we're looking at, up in Scotland, doing international research and taking this message to the rest of the world. We have 3 years of proof that young people can, young people will, and young people are doing amazing work within the creative industries if we just have that opportunity and those doors open for us. So last August, I spoke at the Edinburgh International Culture Summit being held in Holyrood and attended the whole summit for 4 days and spoke to international ambassadors, cultural ministers, heads of internationally recognised prestigious art organisations, and told them where I thought they were going wrong and told them how I could help them, maybe tweak some of these, and started those conversations. But as I said, Denmark is the only other country in the world that has a very similar strategy to our Scottish strategy. It also has a very similar population size to Scotland and very similar financial circumstances. So we are currently planning an international exchange trip. They have a national group of young people as well, and we want to start doing international research about the benefits and effects of young people's voices being heard at strategic government level and projects that are grassroots up rather than government down, which is quite interesting. Part through GAVS, we've also run the Nurturing Talent Fund, which is a fund to young people apply to. It's run by GAVS. We set the funding criteria, we mark applications, we award grants. So far, we have awarded over £72,000 to, I think, roughly just over 300 applications, which is for purely young person-led, self-directed art form exploration and progression, which is amazing. I think more funds like that should exist. You don't know if you're talented at something if you've never had the opportunity to do it. I had never had the opportunity to do mosaicing. I'll be honest right now, I am not particularly talented. I can pull it off, but I can't. But I love graffiti art, and spray paint seems to be my medium. I only discovered that about 9.5 months ago, and since then I have been hooked. I'm stuck. I do it. So every weekend it is kayaking graffiti. That has become my life. But if I hadn't turned up to that free workshop where the materials were provided, there was an artist there showing me how to do it and supporting me with me. It wasn't like, oh, this is how you do it. It's what do you want to do? How can we make that come alive? I would have never known that was even possible. I've currently now done 9 community murals, large scale, all working with young people, and it has been great. But your future, I'll get back to 247 because I'm going away in a tangent. I think, obviously, Argan, flying cars, hoverboards, and KFC get delivers. I think they're pretty standard. It should be, if not just even young person-led, if you're trying to support a group of people overcome certain issues that you know you face, why aren't you sitting round a table with those people? Surely, I'm not into politics, and I have no hopes to be a politician, but in my head, if you're wanting to support someone, you have to speak to them, you have to find out their life circumstances, you have to know them, know what they have been through, the value of their experience. Your experience, if you're an adult, will be totally different. Like Darren said, there was no internet and mobile phones and iPads when he was growing up. I have that experience, it's relevant now. And I think the future's bright. We are here, we are the creators, we can use art, and we will continue to do this, and we will create the future that we want to live in, and don't ever let anybody tell you any different. Here we go.